I met a guy online a few months ago named Fred. My nickname was Strawberry. Sorry. I named him Chocolate. Last time I spoke, he was in New York City. All of a sudden, he vanished, and I thought he died. About a week ago, he texted me.
Well, we did research, and joining us from North Carolina is the man in those photos. And his name is not Fred, his real name is Mark. Have you been talking to her?
I'm sorry to say it's not me.
Somebody in Nigeria stole his picture and used it. Mark, have you been to Africa?
No, sir.
That's interesting.
Do you believe that you're being scammed?
Maybe with Fred.
Can we cross Fred off the list?
Yes.
For 100% sure?
Yes.
But you realize Paul's not real, right?
Right.
Fred's not real.
Right.
Okay.
I haven't even thought of that.
Okay. But you get that, right?
Yes.
Well, while you just witnessed Lois agree with me on this stage that Fred Adler was not real, a few things have changed after she returned home. Just 2 weeks ago, Lois called my producer to give us an update.
It's been over 2 years since I sat down with Dr. Phil. I wanted to know what was going on with my relationship with the General, Fred, and Paul.
I brought my mother onto Dr. Phil because I thought that if he couldn't convince her she was being scammed, then nobody could.
Even though I told Dr. Phil I was being scammed, I really don't feel like that was the case. One of the men I was involved with was the General. What Dr. Phil did on stage, he tried to prove to me that the money was fake.
Despite Dr. Phil bringing on an expert to prove to her that the infamous white money was indeed not real, she still believes that it is.
That money could be real, as far as I know, because it takes a special solution from France. Another man I was involved with was Paul. Dr. Phil found a guy that looked like Paul. In my eyes, the guy I met on stage wasn't Paul. It wasn't Paul because Paul sent me a photo of himself later that said, "I love Lois." Another one of my online romances was with Fred. Dr. Phil introduced me to a guy on stage.
And his name is not Fred, his real name is Mark.
Fred resembles this gentleman, Mark, but it wasn't Fred. The reason why I knew it wasn't Fred is because Fred has a lazy eye.
This is Fred, and I feel like he has a lazy left eye.
I have never felt like I've ever been scammed by Fred. I feel like Fred is a good, honest man. What Dr. Phil wanted me to do was stay clear from the internet for a while. He did not want me to talk to anyone online. I disregarded Dr. Phil's advice because I didn't feel like Fred was scamming me.
She's still in constant contact with Fred.
Fred is just a good, honest Christian man. We call or text each other every day. My entire world revolves around Fred. Last year, Fred was doing a road and bridge construction in Africa. He could not get access to his money because his bank card expired shortly after he got to Africa. Fred found out if he could go to Jamaica, he could get access to his money by getting a debit card. I sent him $300 so he can get on a boat from Africa to Jamaica. Since arriving in Jamaica, he has had all kinds of problems.
Currently, Fred is stuck in Jamaica because of gangsters at the border. But Jamaica is an island.
He was living on the street and somebody put a gun to his head and he was robbed. These are some of the photos that I got from Fred after I purchased a phone for him in Jamaica. When I look at the photos, I see stress in Fred's eyes. Fred has had a lot of problems accessing his money. One time he went to the credit union and the taxi dropped him off. Gangsters got a hold of him, tied him up and beat him with an iron rod and held him there for about 3 days. And they sent me text messages that they were going to kill him. I didn't have any money. All I did was pray and sent the gangsters scripture verses from the Bible. Another time, customs stopped him because of his ID not being legal. They held him in a holding cell. It was for about 2 months, and I had to get him a lawyer to get him out. Around Valentine's Day, he was planning on coming home. He was on his way to the airport, and he was ambushed, and they stole his debit card, his money, and his food. The gangsters took $100,000 from him. They spent it on jewelry. I was upset too because he was excited about coming home and going to a Valentine's dinner with me. Now he's living in Kingston, Jamaica, near a grocery store on the street. I have kept Fred alive for the past 2 years. I have probably sent Fred $10,000 to help him. I send money to Fred through cryptocurrency. The closest crypto machine is about 3 hours from my house. At this point, I am desperate to get Fred home. That is why I contacted Dr. Phil again. I don't know what to do.
Well, please welcome Lois. And also joining us virtually is Lois's daughter, the very frustrated Candace. Candace, how you doing?
I'm doing all right. How are you?
I'm okay. You have steam coming out of your ears. We can see it on the video. Lois, it's good to see you again, by the way.
Thank you, Dr. Phil. I'm here to save Fred's life. I'm in desperate need, and I really need to save his life.
Yeah. And,
He's my fiancé.
right.
And I need to get him home from Jamaica and get him out of his misery and my misery. It's been
Right.
2 years trying to get him back to the States. He lives in Oklahoma,
Yeah.
and I need your help.
In my eyes, Fred is my world. He is definitely what I look for in a man. I don't feel like Fred is a scammer at all. He's been a wonderful person that has had bad luck. When Fred comes home, we would love to retire. And we have talked about buying a house close to Oklahoma City. Fred and I are engaged to be married. He calls me his wife. I call him my husband. I can't wait till all this drama is over.
You've known Fred, what you call knowing Fred, for how long now?
2019 of October.
Okay, so to October 20 and 21,
I think
and
it's
now we're into 22, so it's been 2.5 years,
about
maybe
2.5
almost.
years, yes.
Okay. Does it strike you odd at all that in 2.5 years you've never seen this person never met him in person?
I've seen a photo of him when he was, as soon as he got to his construction
I'll give you
site
these back.
in Africa, he sent me a photo of him on a construction site,
I mean, but you've
and I
never
lost it
met
out
him.
of my phone.
But does it seem odd that you've never met him? I mean, we're in a world where people travel pretty freely.
When I met him on Match, he was going on a business trip to Africa to do a building and construction, a bridge site. And after he got there, he was good for a month, and his bank card expired. That's what happened to him.
Okay, but now
And
answer
that's
my
why
question.
he began to have problems.
But does that seem odd to you?
No, because I have contacted the bank myself. It's a main
I'm
a
asking
main
about the bank. I'm asking, does it seem odd that two adults in a free world have never been able to get in the same room together?
No, not in a way, because he was excited about getting this contract going over there
Okay,
to
never
Africa.
never had a Zoom, never had a FaceTime?
He was so excited to leave before he got on his trip.
But in this technological world that you've never been able to get a FaceTime where the two of you were talking.
His phone got stolen when he got to
In
Africa.
2.5 years, never been able to get a phone where he could sit and talk to you like we're talking now, like we're talking to Candace. I mean, you see Candace up on the screen. You've never been able to have that kind of.
I understand that.
That doesn't seem odd to you.
I don't have, not everybody has that kind of phone. I don't know what kind of phone he had, but I know he was so excited when he left because he got that contract to Africa, and then his bank card expired.
But
And
you
the major
understand that-
bank, it was a major bank, and I had contacted that bank personally, and they would not help us unblock his bank account. They told me there was nothing they can do
But you
to help
understand they
him
sell
until he came to the
smartphones and
United
Androids
States.
and all in every country in the world. They sell them in Nigeria. They sell them in Jamaica. And why have you not gone to Jamaica?
I don't desire to go to Jamaica.
But
Not for what
if
he's
it-
been through. I wouldn't want to go to Jamaica. But
Even though the man you love is in Jamaica?
he's right when he gets right there on the border. This is a problem. We've had 2 bank cards, and I
I got one sent from the credit union to Jamaica, and after they sent the customs we had to pay to get it released out of customs. First, we had to get his ID updated with the credit union.
There are tens of thousands of kids spring breaking in Jamaica right now. There aren't any borders. It's an island. There aren't any borders. It doesn't border any country.
Well, I don't know. What I'm saying is that gangsters, they get hit. I don't know if they have connections with that credit union. I cannot get him home. And he gets his debit card stolen before he even gets it, any money.
We have to deal
home.
with some facts here. There aren't any borders in Jamaica. It's an island, so there aren't any borders. There's just coastline.
Dr. Phil, I'm in Kingston, Jamaica. Lois believes that her fiancé, Fred, has traveled from Africa to Jamaica by boat. Since being here, he claims that he has been robbed, abused, made homeless, and is now living with an expired visa. The only information that Fred has provided us as to his whereabouts is that he is living in the streets near the Ava Wholesale Limited grocery store. I've looked it up on the map. Let's see what we find out. As you can see, the Ava Wholesale Limited is here right behind me. Let's go inside to see if anyone has seen or heard of Fred. I'm with a frequent customer of Ava Wholesale Limited. Have you seen this man?
No, darling.
You've never seen him in the area?
No, darling.
I wanted to know if you've seen this man. He goes by the name of Fred. No, you have never seen him. I've spoken to the owners and workers of the Ava Wholesale Limited. Though no one is comfortable on camera, they have confirmed that they have never heard or seen Fred. Let's head to our next location to see what we can find. I'm here with an officer stationed in the area of the grocery store. Have you seen this man, Fred? You have never seen him. Well, Dr. Phil, we spoke with many people today in the downtown Kingston area. We spoke with them off camera, visited the grocery store, spoke with law enforcement, even visited the nearby streets. No one has seen or even heard of Fred.
What do you say to that?
I don't know what to tell you. I don't know.
Because you can't make sense out of nonsense. You don't know what to tell me because he can't get there in a day on a boat. And the people that own the grocery store have never seen him. Nobody on the streets of Jamaica around that grocery store have seen him. The police haven't seen him. He's just not there.
He said there was, I don't know, street signs. That's what he gave for as a location to find him. It's where he says he's on the streets nearby.
So I sent a staffer there, and he's not there. He's never been there. This is a locally owned grocery store. This isn't like a big Albertsons or Ralph's or
right, I understand.
whatever. This is a locally owned grocery store. The people that own it said he has never been in here. We know who comes in here. He is not one of them. We talked to the police that walk the beat there. They said, this man is not living on the streets here. We know who is. He is not one of them. We talked to the people who do live on the streets there. They said, no, he's not part of our community. He does not live here. We've never seen him.
I don't know. He's been, I kind of gave him update that that he might come here, and he says that nobody's been looking for him. I don't know what to tell you.
Well, unfortunately, we're out of time for today, but tune in tomorrow when Lois meets the real man in the photos of Fred Adler, face to face. 2 years ago, Lois was introduced to this man virtually, but now says he didn't look anything like Fred. Will she believe it when she sees him in person tomorrow? And will hearing from another past guest who also disregarded my advice help her see things more clearly about her online relationship? Do you have a story or a question for me? Click the link in the description and tell me what in the world is going on. Do you have a story or a question for me? Click the link in the description and tell me what in the world is going on.